Should America constitutionalize a right to child castration? That is the question before the Supreme Court this week in a landmark case. Here's the point. This week, the Supreme Court heard oral arguments in United States versus Skrmetti, a landmark case concerning the constitutionality of Tennessee's ban on gender mutilation of children, SB 1, called Protecting Children from Gender Mutilation Act. Already, 26 states have existing bans in place for hormone therapy and chemical and surgical castration of children. But the outcome of this case would not only impact Tennessee's law, it would have broader ramifications for the protection of children, parental rights, and what qualifies as medical treatment when it comes to gender ideology and experimental surgery all across the country. Biden's Department of Justice and the ACLU are attempting to argue for a constitutional right to perform selective surgeries on children, some as early as 1 or 2 years of age. This is under the guise of parental rights and medical freedom. Let me say that again. The current DOJ and ACLU are attempting to argue in this case that it is a matter of parental rights to transition a son or daughter and medical freedom to administer puberty blockers or to perform surgical castration, permanently altering a child's sex forever. Out of the oral arguments, there are a few important things to note in the immediate. First, the attorney representing ACLU, Chase Strangio, is a biological female who came out as a transgender male while in law school and presented oral arguments this week on behalf of 3 transgender adolescents. Chase was previously part of both the Bostock case and the Obergefell case. In this case, both the DOJ and the ACLU are attempting to make a claim that the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment means that a child should not be denied the opportunity to undergo experimental treatment for gender dysphoria. Second, it was interesting right from the outset that the ACLU argued transgenderism is a discrete category, as in someone can make that determination in their mind, and one that is fluid. Someone can change their mind about their gender at any time. Yet, Biden's DOJ and the ACLU are arguing that this is supposed to be both an immutable and legally protected classification. Third, it was Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson who attempted to draw the comparison that banning experimental medical treatment on children with gender dysphoria was similar to old miscegenation laws, old laws against interracial marriage during the Jim Crow era, as in the 1967 case of Loving versus Virginia, where such laws were ruled unconstitutional. Fourth, it was Justice Samuel Alito's line of questioning that pointed out that such experimental medical treatment on children did not show any positive outcomes in mental health, nor was it correlated with any drop in suicide among transgender patients. Studies have shown the opposite. Suicide rates soar, in some cases 20 times higher than that of comparable peers. In other words, one of the main arguments that advocates for sex reassignment surgery and gender transition is that it is supposed to help treat long-term effects of the mental health crisis with gender dysphoria. That data proves to be the opposite. So how are Christians to think about all of this? Here's the point. The scriptures tell us that God made every one of us, male and female, in his image. We are all male or female by God's design. We cannot change that as much as some might try. Our biggest problem in creation is the problem of sin. We have revolted against God, and we have revolted against God's order in creation. Every atom, every molecule, every psychological thought is in cosmic rebellion against God and needs to come under the lordship of Jesus Christ. There is no such thing as true sex reassignment surgery because we cannot overturn what God has done in creation. A transgendered man does not become a woman, and a transgender woman does not become a man. That is not merely a religious construct, but a scientific fact. But who can free us from the body of this death? It is only through Jesus Christ that we can find healing from our deepest inner longings, our mental health crisis, and our gender confusion. Whoever the Son sets free is free indeed. As Christians, we have a duty not only to hold this truth for ourselves, but to share it with others and to protect and defend the innocent, in this case, children, from those who would prey upon them and destroy their lives by destroying their bodies that God has created. Banning such a practice, especially for children, is not only sensible, it is the right thing to do. Parents do not have the right to castrate their children, but parents and lawmakers do have the right to protect children from castration in the name of medical treatment.